Welcome back, everybody. I hope you are doing well. Trump had a rather rough weekend. He was ranting on social media all weekend against whoever dares betray him. Marjorie Taylor Greene, because she supports the release of the Epstein files, is his latest target. And so then he comes back from Mar-a-Lago to DC, and just visually and audibly, you can tell, is so dilapidated. And this is getting to him, as it should. And I'll tell you about the little trick he's doing, where he's quote-unquote switched his stance on the Epstein files, but it's an obvious ploy. First, though, I saw this during one of Trump's press conferences. Aaron Rupar said, "Man, Trump sounds like poo today." And Trump ended up being asked, as I'll show you, what happened to your voice? And he divulges something pretty interesting. Here's his voice.
An even bigger event next year as we host the official 2026 FIFA World Cup. That's the big one. The World Cup tournament. This will be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, even for our country, because frankly, this goes to countries, everybody wants it. I guess it's going all over the world.
He sounds and looks like the state of his presidency. So he was asked, what's going on with your voice? Everything okay? And he said that he was screaming, I guess right before this meeting, screaming so loudly at a country. We don't know who, Mr. Japan, Mr. China, Mr. Australia, and it caused him to lose his voice.
Ask the health of the president's always news. Your voice sounds a little rough. Are you feeling all right?
I feel great. I was shouting at people because they were stupid about something having to do with
The Epstein
trade
files.
in a country, and I straightened it out. But I blew my stack at these people.
Well, it sounds like there's a follow-up there, but can I ask you about Venezuela? You suggested...
Sounds as the what?
It sounds like there's a follow-up there, but can I ask you about
I
Venezuela?
thought you said there was a polyp, and I said, I don't want to hear that.
Something's on your mind? Weird that's what you heard. Is something on your mind? Because also over the weekend he was asked, do you know, this is becoming way bigger of a story, but do you know why you got an MRI? And he says, no, I got one. He said it was the best test result he had ever seen, or she had ever seen, the doctor. And I don't know what it was for, though. So I know it was the best result of its kind ever, but I don't even know what body part was being analyzed. Click the subscribe button, please, if you appreciate this show as we continue through it. It is free right below the video that you're watching. If you click subscribe, it helps get the show more widely heard.
If we denuclearize.
Mr. President, could you tell us why you needed to get an MRI? I understand that the results were good, but what was it for?
Because it's part of my physical. Getting an MRI is very standard. Well, you think I shouldn't have it? Other people get it.
Typically an MRI
I had an
is some
MRI.
specific part of your body
Here's
they're
what the
scanning.
story is. I had an MRI. The doctor said it was the best result he has ever seen as a doctor. That's it. But I had an MRI as part of my standard yearly, or I think they do it every 2 years, but I have the physical every year. And the result was outstanding.
Was it your brain?
Did you
or
know?
heart, or-
I have no idea what
They said, was it your brain or a different body part?
outstanding.
Was it your brain?
Did you
or
know?
heart, or-
I have no idea what they analyzed, but whatever they analyzed it well, and they said that I had as good a result as they've ever seen. Now, the other thing I took is
Put that, is he about to say cognitive test?
advanced, very advanced test on mental acuity.
Yeah. And there it is. There it is. So was it your brain? Was the MRI for your brain? He says, I don't know. But whatever it was for was the best result they'd ever seen, much like the cognitive test, the mental acuity test that I took. And please, you can comment if you've ever been with a doctor and they go, we need to get you an MRI. And you say, okay, it gets done and you don't even know what it was for. But you do know it was the best result they'd ever seen, but you don't even know what they were scanning. You don't know what they're scanning, but it was the best, whatever they scanned, that they'd ever seen. Seems likely. You say polyp? Oh, I thought you said polyp. Okay, sorry. Now, I was asked in this press conference, despite him trying his best to avoid questions about this, about the Epstein files. Over the weekend, he posted, "I now support the House voting to release the files," which, let me explain before I show you this clip, how insane this ploy is, okay? So his government is the one who is the entity that has the power to release or not release what they have in documentation form about Epstein and his investigations. The only reason for the House bill that now already has enough votes was because Trump's DOJ was refusing to release more. So now Trump's saying, well, now that the House already has enough votes, I support the House vote. Well, they already do. Yeah, he wrote on Truth Social, House Republicans should vote to release the Epstein files because we have nothing to hide after months of trying to hide stuff. Okay, but why would you need a vote in Congress if you can just direct the release yourself, which he can? But then put that back up, Jaden. Very tricky. He put in this post that they are happy to release. Could you scroll down? Whatever the House Oversight Committee can have, whatever they are legally entitled to. So not everything. Whatever they're legally entitled to. So instead of just going, hey, the bill's irrelevant now because I'm directing the release, which is the only thing about the bill is to force Trump. Now he's saying, I'll do it, but you have to still pass it out of the House and the Senate, and he's going to try to kill it in the Senate. Get ready. But then if it even works, I'll release what I think you're legally entitled to receive. It's so obvious. It's so obvious what he's doing.
Clarify something you posted on Truth Social last night. You urged House Republicans to vote in favor of this Epstein release bill they're going to vote on tomorrow. I just want to be super clear on your position. Do you want to see that pass the Senate? Would you sign that bill if it gets to your desk?
I do want to. Here's what I want. We have nothing to do with Epstein. The Democrats do. All of his friends were Democrats. You look at this Reid Hoffman. You look at Larry Summers, Bill Clinton. They went to his island all the time, and many others. They're all Democrats. All I want for people to recognize a great job that I've done on pricing, on affordability, because we brought prices way down, but they're going way lower.
That is false. So that's why we can't give you credit for that, because that's not true.
Energy, on ending 8 wars, and another one coming pretty soon, I believe. We've done a great job. And I hate to see that deflect from the great job we've done. So I'm all for it. You know, we've already given 50,000 pages. You do know that.
Okay, so take that down. Keep holding the photo that you have. Because then he drops a doozy. And this is another scheme some people think he might be engaging in. Legally entitled to. We're going to hold on to that language for a while. Because he just announced an investigation into specifically Democrats' relationship with Epstein. So that's one of his moves. But he can now cite, even if the bill gets through, that there's an active investigation going on. So they're not legally entitled to a lot of documentation because there's an active investigation that he launched only into Democrats. And so then he says stuff like this.
I believe that some of the people that we mentioned are being looked at very seriously for their relationship to Jeffrey Epstein, but they were with him all the time. I wasn't at all. And we'll see what happens.
Okay, so now you can put it up. I wasn't at all. What are we doing? Well, who do you think you're... And the interesting thing is he goes, don't focus on me. Stop talking about it. But the main focus on you is that you have the power, as I referenced before, to release or not. And you have the relationship. Those two compounding factors makes you a central point in this. So then you bring up all these other people to which any Democrat says, we want full transparency on those people too. And if you found anything of a wrongdoing nature, they should be held fully accountable as well. They don't have the power, though, to release or not release. You do. And So then you say, just because of your deep, deep relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, no one should be drawing any conclusions from how insane you're acting now about these files. But we should draw conclusions about other people who had less deep relationships with Epstein than you did. Some stunning logic there. They need to be investigated because they had a relationship with him. But you, who he described as either him being your best friend, I think that's what, he was your best friend for like 10 years. That shouldn't prompt any investigation or any questions. Now, he wasn't just screaming, apparently on the phone with someone over trade, which I don't even believe that necessarily, but okay. He was also still screaming now, not just on Truth Social, about Marjorie Taylor Greene for pushing for transparency.
Her life could be at danger because of the rhetoric?
Her life is in danger? Who's that?
Marjorie Taylor Greene, she says.
Marjorie Taylor Greene. I don't think her life is in danger. Frankly, I don't think anybody cares about her. Okay, what about you?
Are you negotiating?
So there's that. And then, he said initially her new nickname was Marjorie Taylor Greene, which he stole that from liberals. We've been saying that forever. Except there's one time where I wouldn't call her a traitor, and that's when she's pushing for the release of the Epstein files. And then he also called her Marjorie Taylor Brown. Well, now he's calling her Marjorie Taylor Brown. Wacky, he says, wacky Marjorie Taylor Brown, remember, green turns brown, where there is rot involved, is working overtime to try and portray herself as a victim, when in actuality, she's the cause of all of her own problems. The fact is, nobody cares about this traitor to our country. Interesting. Very fascinating behavior. He is falling apart in front of our eyes. And I hope people don't let the pressure off, because you can see how much this is getting to him. He doesn't seem to be dyeing his hair anymore or something too. He's just letting it all go. He's letting himself go. And the thing, you remember this thing? Is kind of like, it's growing at a faster pace. Podcast listener, sorry you didn't see what I was gesturing towards. Then some people call it a quote unquote nussy. That it's growing at a faster pace and is more alive. I noticed that the more, you know how Trump says grass, it has a life like a person. I noticed that his nussy has a life sort of its own. It'll kind of move to the beat of its own drum, kind of. And the more alive it is, the more dead he feels. I noticed that kind of contrast about him. When he seemed in better spirits, it kind of keeps to itself. But whenever he's real bummed out, the thing, the Cardi B line of hanging in the back of your throat. This is like hanging on your throat. Just for the younger viewers out there, they'll love that reference. It really made sense. And it kind of starts hanging a little bit more. Parts in the little garage, you know what I'm saying? Like all those sort of references, I think, dial in here. So then he gets asked about Tucker Carlson cozying up to neo-Nazi Nick Fuentes. And this is the state of the Republican Party, where Trump doesn't even denounce Fuentes or express some space between. He's just kind of like, I don't know. The question he ultimately gets, as you're about to hear, is what role do you think Nick Fuentes, and I'll remind you of who that is in a second, plays in the conservative movement? Imagine someone said, Luke, what role do you think Nick Fuentes plays in the liberal movement? You would barely be able to get the end of that sentence for me to go, none. He's not anywhere in the vicinity of my movement. But Trump hears that question and goes, I don't know. Who's to say?
To the formula, yeah.
Mr. President, Tucker Carlson recently had a friendly interview with anti-Semite Nick Fuentes. Tucker Carlson. What role do you think Tucker Carlson should play in the Republican Party and the conservative movement going forward?
Well, I found him to be good. I mean, he said good things about me over the years. I think he's good. We've had some good interviews. I did an interview with him. We had 300 million hits. You know that. Look, I can't tell him.
This is actually exciting. He prompted a thought, and then I'll show you the rest of the clip. We just got word from our YouTube rep that our show has hit 60 trillion hits, I think it was, right? You know that better than anyone. 60 trillion hits. hits.
Some good interviews. I did an interview with him. We had 300 million hits. You know that. Look, I can't tell him. Will you let me finish my statement? You are the worst. You're with Bloomberg, right? You are the worst. I don't know why they even have you. We've had some great interviews with Tucker Carlson, but you can't tell him who to interview. I mean, if he wants to interview Nick Fuentes, I don't know much about him, but if he wants to do it, get the word out. Let him, people have to decide. Ultimately, people have to decide.
That little dangly thing hanging, that's what I missed that line. That little dangly thing hanging in the back of your throat. That's what that's the line. I was like, I missed the term dangly thing. That's the fun part of it. Okay, sorry. Keep going.
People have to decide. Ultimately, people have to decide. The mayor of New York, I will say, would like to meet with us and we'll work something out. But he would like to come to Washington and meet, and we'll work something out. We want to see everything work out well for New York.
You yourself had dinner with Nick Fuentes at Mar-a-Lago a few years ago. What role should he play in the conservative movement?
Well, I didn't know he was coming, and he was with, as you know, somebody, Kanye. And Kanye asked if he could have dinner, and he brought Nick. I didn't know Nick at the time. And he did. He came, and along with a few other people. He brought a few people with him. Meeting people, talking to people, like for somebody like Tucker, that's what they do. People are controversial. Some are, some aren't. I'm not controversial, so I like it that way. Okay.
Yeah. So this is what a lot of people keep doing. And Marjorie Greene even has been getting asked about Fuentes because she spoke at his conference back, I think, in 2022. And if you hear someone, just to be clear, articulate your position. Articulate it. Do it. Try. Argue. Argue what you want to argue. But don't do the cop-out of, I believe in Nick Fuentes' First Amendment. What the hell are we talking about? Yeah, of course he has the right to say those things. Of course. Of course. Of course Tucker has the right to have him on his show. And I don't even have a problem with interviewing Nick Fuentes. It's that Tucker decided to spend a bunch of it being like, tell me, what is porn? What is porn, Nick? Instead of confronting him on a laundry list of, if you did in my mind, a responsible interview, you would actually flesh out what this guy believes. Not let him whitewash what he believes. And you would actually, hey, you said this. Do you stand by that statement? To give people a sense of his ideology. Because anyone, extremists will do this, can pinpoint certain subjects and talking points and go, wait, this is all I'm here to say. And people go, oh, okay, that wasn't as bad as I thought. But if you're a responsible interview, you go, okay, but what is your goal? What's your political project? Because if I look at the breadth of your history, it seems like you have a pretty dangerous neo-Nazi political project. And you would explore that. That would be the responsible interview in my mind. I'm using my free speech to say Tucker used his free speech, engaging with Nick Fuentes with his free speech in a pitiful way. So just by going like Trump did as well, he can have whoever he wants. Of course he can. That's not what anyone's arguing. It's that I'm a little concerned. You have these young Republican group texts. You have the swastika in the congressman's office. You have Fuentes getting pretty mainstream in the right-wing movement. And it's curious to me why Trump wouldn't go, oh no, of course Fuentes is not in my movement. Because he says stuff like this.
That documentary. I came home. I told my parents, I'm like, Mom, Dad, the Holocaust didn't happen. And they were like, we did not raise you this way. I remember coming home from college and my second semester, I got home in the spring and I was like, Mom, Dad, Hitler was awesome. Hitler was right. And the Holocaust didn't happen. And my parents were like, we cannot believe what you are saying. We did not raise you like this. I'm like, I can't believe you're not being chill about this. I was like shocked because my parents aren't even that political. I mean,
why don't girls like me? Why? I can't find any girls to sleep with. That's his whole thing. He struggles in the girl department. And I'm shocked as to how that came to be. And in his interview with Tucker, he plays the victim a lot. He's like, everyone was so mean to me, so then I became a Nazi. which I've seen a lot. I've been treated poorly sometimes. I've seen a lot of people bullied. Very few of them went, the world has been mean to me. Go Hitler. Like, that doesn't have to be the thread I've learned in my long life. And this,
I saw something on Twitter. I don't even know if this is true, but something on Twitter said, like, all of Hitler's girlfriends were 16 and 17. And Alex Jones, I don't even know if that's true, but if that is, that's probably why Alex Jones called Hitler a pedophile. And it's like, you would be saying the same thing about Hitler. MLK was a rapist and Hitler was a pedophile. It's like, you know what? The world's a little bit more complicated than that. Okay? The world's a little bit more complicated than you're making it out to be. Hitler was a pedophile and kind of a pagan. It's like, well, he was also really fucking cool. So, you know, time to grow up. We're not children anymore. Am I right?
I saw a clip of Nick being like, what? Everyone's showing these clips of me saying how much I like Hitler, and it's like, why are you always bringing that up? Oh, you're always Hitler, you're so obsessed with Hitler. It's like, you're so obsessed with Hitler. It takes 2 searches, and it's like hundreds of clips of Nick being like, Hitler. Hitler seems to be on your mind a lot. So I think it's fair for people to say, even he'll try to come out now and say certain things like, no, I'm just arguing that, like, I'm just making a totally normal political point about And I think that we should be cautious of that game, because he's admitted before he'll kind of morph into whatever shape he needs to be while holding the same ideology he's had, but to appeal to larger audiences. And so I think it's just a dark time where now you have MAGA, not exactly, many of them, even Trump apparently, not feeling comfortable going, oh, no, neo-Nazis aren't a part of our movement, which has kind of been a problem for Trump for a long time, not wanting to denounce. Or he'll get asked, hey, what do you think of QAnon? And he'll be like, well, they say really nice things about me, so who's to say? Or, what do you say to the Proud Boys? Stand back and stand by, was his famous quote on the debate stage. That's where things are at. And it's showing up with the vice president going, I don't care what some kids say in group chats, when it was adults who have positions of power in the Republican Party. One of them just got promoted in the Trump administration while saying he has a Nazi streak. And it is a big sign when there's a lack of an ability to even speak out against voices like this. And it shows how weak many of them know their argument to be when their defense of not combating the Fuentes of the world is, well, we believe in free speech. No, of course. Are you dumb? That's actually sometimes I wonder, are you dumb or dishonest? Pick one. Your choice. Dumb, dishonest. Because it has nothing to do with that. I'm asking you to use your free speech to say what you think about his free speech. That's it. We're not a bunch of babies. Stop treating us like a bunch of babies. You think
you're my daddy.
Anything that has... What does that even mean? What does that mean to you? I'm asking. I would never tell Nick Fuentes what he can or can't say. Okay, so you're stupid. Oh, that's such a bummer. Darn. I'm going to talk to you like you're a baby if you're talking to me like I'm a baby. Oh my God. Put your pacifier in. Go suck baba. I don't know what that had to do with anything. I just did that. Just. What? What did he say? I mean, it's really driving me crazy. It's driving me crazy because I see a lot of more reasonable voices hear that and go, I just saw Dana Bash on CNN ask Marjorie Taylor Greene about Fuentes, and Marjorie was like, I just think that he has a right to speak. And Dana Bash is like, okay, checkmate. No, but you have a right to speak against what he's speaking. No one's talking about censoring.